This episode is brought to you by our good friends at NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV. I'm sure by now you've all gotten back into your Sunday routines, but they could be even better. With NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you get the most live NFL games all in one place, every game, every Sunday. And you can even watch up to 4 different games at once with multi-view, one of my favorite inventions of this decade. It's exactly what you need to catch all the action, make your Sundays more magical, and also YouTube TV is great. I got it this year. It's awesome. Sign up now at youtube.com/BS. Device and content restrictions apply. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Post-match chat with chaps, where it's just finished at Fratton Park. Portsmouth 0, Millwall 1. We find ourselves in the next round at the Carabao Cup after the 1-0 win in what I would describe as it was an all right game, wasn't it? You know, it wasn't anything to get you off your seat, but it was a professional performance. Definitely looked like two sides that have made a number of changes. The commentator certainly kept reminding us of the fact that both sides had made 6 changes. But I think overall, we were good value for our 1-0 win, despite those changes. Neil Harris made a big statement, in my opinion, by naming just 8 subs out of a possible 9. I think that's him telling everyone that will listen that we need to make more reinforcements and quickly. But let's start with the team that did start the game. So flashing this up now, for those of you listening on podcast, I'll run through the side. So Roberts made his debut in goal. Back 4 right to left of Danny McNamara. Ryan Leonard obviously being rested after the weekend and obviously the head clash that he had. Centre-back pairing of Jake Cooper, who took the armband, and Wes Harding. Joe Bryan at left back. In the middle of the park, Casper Denor partnered Alfie Massey. So Alfie Massey making his debut for the Lions, and more to come on him. The 2 wide men, which personally excited me quite a lot, was Romain Esse and Imaku, and then Honeyman played behind debutants, getting his first start anyway, Macaulay Langstaff. For Portsmouth, they also made 6 changes. I think the players for me that stood out were Silvera, the lad on loan, I believe, from Middlesbrough, and Sadie up front. They were the 2 players that I felt went on to cause us some problems. But as I say, they didn't create too many clear-cut openings. But we'll go through it as normal. This one's going to be quite a quick 10-minute. Obviously, it's quite late and just want to get something out as quickly as possible to give my sort of overall synopsis of the game. I think opening 5 minutes, we started quite aggressively, quite front foot. I quite liked the fact that we were pressing quite high. At times, we were sloppy in possession, but overall, I felt that we started the better side. Portsmouth then started to get a little bit of a foothold on the game. I think Towler had a chance that went over the bar, but on 13 minutes, we get our goal. And it's a really good finish from Romain Esse. Delighted for him after his weekend performance, which, to be honest, wasn't the best. So delighted for him to get the goal. Esse and Bryan try to link up, but it breaks down. Honeyman does superbly, wins the ball back on the edge of the area, and he sort of tries to drive towards goal, but Esse takes it over. He sort of runs towards Towler and then slots it through his legs into the bottom corner, giving Norris absolutely no chance. Really smart, calm, composed finish from Romain, and we find ourselves 1-0 up. I then felt we grew into the game and started to control it. I felt that we pressed really high. I've got some notes here to say that Joe Bryan and Langstaff were pressing high. Danny Mack was his normal sort of fully committed challenges. I felt George Honeyman put a serious amount of yards in. Yes, okay, he's not a number 10 really, in my opinion, but you can't argue his work ethic, and he'll play anywhere. Anywhere he's asked, he'll play and he'll put a shift in, and that's all you can really ask. I like George Honeyman. He's not the best player in the world, but he certainly puts a shift in. I felt Silvera was the only player in the first half that caused us problems. They didn't create a significant, meaningful chance in the first half. They didn't create. I don't believe they had a shot on target. I've noted down here Imaku on 41 was a perfect example of where Maku's still raw. I thought Maku had a great game, by the way, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But he sort of, SA played a ball over the top. In Maku's pure pace, he got to the ball first, but then he decided to go inside and outside, and then end up kind of fluffing the opportunity to put the ball in the box for Langstaff. But that was that. Nothing major to call out other than that in the first half. I was quite disappointed with Casper Denor's performance tonight. I felt he was largely a passenger. I've sung his praises, and I think we should build the midfield around him. But tonight, I felt he was a bit of a passenger at times. And actually, Alfie Massey stood out for me a little bit more than he did. And I'll just touch on Alfie Massey now. Completed, I think, just over 60 minutes, and the biggest compliment I can give him is that I just said he stood out more than Denor, but the fact that Alfie Massey didn't stand out for a negative reason. He looked at home. He looked composed. I thought it was a good performance, and long may that continue. I think he's a young central midfielder with a lot of potential. Where he is coming into the transfer window, I'm not sure. Is it better for him to go out on loan and get some game time? I think that will probably depend on the business we do on the incoming. Second half, I felt Portsmouth grew into the game. I've noted down here on 54 minutes, they had the third consecutive corner where I think it's Ogliv. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It looked like he scored from the TV angle, and the crowd certainly thought he did, but he didn't. But that was a bit of pressure from them. Definitely felt that they started to get control of the game. But then again, we had the best chance, in my opinion, on the second half, where on 58 minutes, some good work between Imaku, Denor, and SA finds Honeyman. Unfortunately, puts it straight at the goalkeeper. But that was our chance to sort of make it 2-0 and seal the game. Instead, what we did was on 65, made some changes. George Saville, Tom Bradshaw, Ryan Leonard. That experience coming onto the pitch. For who came off. Obviously, Alfie Massey came off. Macaulay Langstaff, I'm sure that was part of the plan. And Joe Bryan, obviously, who completed 90 minutes at the weekend. Danny Mack switches to left back, Ryan Leonard to right back. I found it interesting as well tonight that Kevin Nisbet wasn't involved at all. I was predicting my lineup, and I actually had Kevin Nisbet to start. So not really sure what that tells us. On 75 minutes, we also saw Duncan Watmore come onto the pitch with Imaku going off. The fact that SA didn't go off, I don't know if that tells us that he's not going to start Saturday, because I don't know, I might be putting 2 and 2 together and getting 7, but maybe that means that Watmore and Imaku are due to start against Bristol. Don't know. Either way, I'll be there. So looking forward to that. Getting down there early, making a weekend of it. Certainly having a few beers and hopefully celebrating our first league win of the campaign. Their best chance of the second half, in my opinion, came for Callum Lang. An outstretched header on 79. We were caught out by a quick throw-in. But again, it wasn't a clear-cut chance by any stretch of the imagination. And Callum Lang had come on as a substitute. Why had he not been picked up by a Championship club before? He was at Wigan for quite a while, producing really good performances consistently, and then he went to Portsmouth in League One, and now he's in the Championship. And in my opinion, he's someone that we should have looked at a long time ago. But always liked him. I think he's a good player. Liam Roberts, overall a composed debut, but on 93 came to claim something, didn't. And luckily for him and luckily for us, we were not taken advantage of in that situation. But that's the one thing that I think he did wrong. I thought overall he looked good. Didn't really have much to do, in fairness, but his distribution looked fine. And that's about it, really. There's not bundles to talk about. That's why I said this will be a quick one. I think, what I would say is that the positives for me tonight were Alfie Massey, as I've talked to. I thought Danny Mack had a good game. I thought that George Honeyman also had a fairly good game in the respect that he was involved in the two opportunities that we did create and the yards he put in. I can't even begin to imagine. Do I like us playing a 4-4-1-1 with George Honeyman in a 10? No, I don't. And I'm hoping that is a means to an end until we find a proper target man or Fleming comes back. But I can only call on what the team that was put out there. And I thought George Honeyman did what George Honeyman does. He's never going to be someone that creates bundles of chances and scores lots of goals, but we know what he's about. And I thought he did that job very, very well. I also want to give a bit of credit to Imaku. I felt that Imaku, he offered his normal attacking prowess. You can tell it's not he doesn't have the same impact on games when he starts to when he comes on as a substitute. But for a starting position, that has to be one of his stronger games because I felt that his defensive work was good. And I thought he had an impact at both ends of the pitch. So credit to him. I think he was another positive. For me, in terms of areas of improvement, I thought he grew into the game, Wes Harding, but for the first 20 minutes, I thought that Sadie had him in his pocket. And I looked a little bit sort of concerned over that. And then, as I say, I think Casper Denor was quite the passenger for a lot of the game, and I expect more of him, to be totally honest with you. I think he's an excellent player, and I expect more of him. Romain Esse at times was a joy to watch. Blew hot and cold a bit, but, he's... The finish, he's won the game for us, and his finish was outstanding. So long may that continue. It is absolutely fantastic to see the likes of Romain Esse and Adama Imaku starting for us on either flank. And for me, that's the future. So look, I'll leave it there. This is just over 10 minutes. That's all it needs to be. Very much looking forward to Bristol on Saturday. There will be plenty of content to still come out this week, by the way, which is exciting. I'm not going to share anymore what it will be, but there's definitely some exciting content to come out. And there could be even more depending on if we make a signing or two before the end of the week. So let's see what happens. As always, very, very grateful for anyone who takes their time to have a listen to me. Very much appreciated. We are certainly on the way up in terms of subscriptions and views, and I just can't thank you enough. So please do subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Like, share, all that kind of jazz. It really helps us out. And for those of you traveling to Bristol on Saturday, I'll be in the pub from 10 probably, but I'll see you probably worse for wear at some point on Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.
Sports Social Podcast Network.